Okay, welcome to this month's song breakdown, and I'm going to do things a little bit differently this month. I'm still going to have it in two sections, but you'll see later on that I've tried to add something a bit new to this one. So the song is Legend of the Five Sons, and the first thing we're going to move on to is talking about the themes and the lyrics. So let's start with that now, shall we?
Scheme with knife, thirst of God.
So the themes and lyrics of Legend of the Five Sons. But before we even get onto that, there's one thing I'd like to point out about this song that some eagle-eyed people amongst you may have noticed, is that it's one of the only times probably in Morass Of Molasses where there's been a spelling mistake on the song title, and that is the actual song title is Legend of the Five Sons, as in sun in the sky, and on some things that are like online it says Legend of the Five Sons, as in your son. So yeah, that was a little typo that happened somewhere along the lines, and actually, to be honest with you, it doesn't really bother me that much, because it's led to, I guess, some people interpreting the song in different ways, which is cool because people can interpret songs however you want. But I guess now I'm going to tell you the actual meaning behind it. So, what are the Five Sons? So this is based on an Aztec legend, and it is that they believed, well, for a start, they called themselves the people of the sun. So yeah, the sun and the world to them were the same thing. And so they believed that before this world that we had, there'd been 4 other worlds which had ended in calamity. And that each of them they considered to be a sun. So 1, 2, 3, 4 suns, and we are on the 5th sun, so hence 5 sons. And they also believed that it was their duty as a people to keep the balance, the cosmic balance, if you like, going, and the way they did that was through sacrifice. And that sounds a little bit brutal and a little bit bad, but actually they believed so strongly that these sacrifices would actually keep the universe whole and together, that the people that often were sacrificed, sometimes they volunteered, and they were obviously revered sometimes in culture. So yeah, that's what the Five Sons is all about.
Sacrifice,
So now we get on to how this was constructed as a song. Now, one thing I want to point out straight away is that this song is pretty unique in the respect that I think maybe out of all other Morass Of Molasses songs, this is the only Morass Of Molasses song that doesn't actually feature any other members except me from Morass Of Molasses. So Raj isn't in this, Phil isn't in this, the old drummer, Chris, definitely isn't in this. So this is just me on acoustic guitar, and a guest vocalist to my very good friend Sean from the band Alunah, and a guest flute player, which is Matt, and he's from the band Trevor's Head. So 3 people on it, but only one of them from Morass Of Molasses. And it gives the song a different vibe, I think, and I like the fact that the other people coming into it have affected the way it feels a little bit, and it definitely sounds the way I wanted it to in my head. I had a very sort of retro sound in my head, very sort of 70s vibe, and we definitely got that across, especially with the flute going on, and it's very warm sounding on the recording. Now normally this is the stage where I would go back and find a recording from my phone and play it to you and tell you that I wrote this riff in 2015, which is I did. I wrote the song in 2015. It didn't get recorded into 2018, something like that. But to be honest with you, the recordings that I did on my phone, because this is an acoustic song and it was an acoustic recording, I thought I'd do something a little bit different, and I thought I'd actually play it for you. So here's me playing a bit of Legend of the Five Sons for you. So that was obviously just one of the guitar parts, and the eagle-eyed or eagle-eared amongst you will notice that there are actually 2 guitar parts, as well as the flute and the vocals, obviously. And so I actually layered myself, obviously, in the studio, and there's quite a distinct melody that goes on in the chorus, and I'd like to try and show you how that layers over the top now, if I can. I really like the way those two things come together, and how they kind of separately they sound nice, but then when they come together they create this interesting whole that sounds like all these layers of guitar. It's beautiful. And then when you add the vocals and flute on top of that, oh, really happy with the way that all layered up and just came together perfectly, really. So yeah, I guess the next thing to talk about the song is obviously the vocals, and Sean, incredible vocalist, came in just did all her vocals all in one go, improvised loads of it, made it up on the spot pretty much. Incredible. And I really like the way her vocals and my vocals meld together, and the harmonies that we ended up coming up with and stuff, and it just really worked. And I think it's a real standout of how our vocals can work together, because obviously there are other songs on the album where we sing on as well, so that's good. And then the final icing on the cake, which is obviously Matt coming in and playing his flute, and that just really makes this song transcendent and actually carries you away to a very different place. There's just something about flute, I've always loved it, and it really gives it that retro vibe as well. So there you go, I think that's everything that came together and made Legend of the Five Sons. Thanks for listening to this song breakdown. I hope you love this song as much as I do. It's one of my favourites on the album, and yeah, I hope you enjoy hearing some of the background about it. Again, thanks to all our Patreons, you guys literally make this worthwhile. If for some reason you're watching this and you haven't actually joined our Patreon or you're considering it, go and check it out. It's like, you can do it for $5 a month. It's really cheap, and we put all extra content on there. So yeah, thanks very much, and I'll see you next month. Okay, bye.